Hi everyone, welcome back to Arpita Sharma classes. I am Arpita Sharma, your educator, and today we are going to cover the Hindu newspaper analysis. तो ये एक छोटा सा रिविजनरी लेक्चर है आप लोगों के लिए. हम 26 अगस्त से लेकर अब तक 29 अगस्त तक जितने भी इम्पोर्टेंट आर्टिकल्स हिंदू न्यूज़पेपर में आए हैं उनको एनालाइज करेंगे एंड उनको प्रीलिम्स और मेंस के पर्सपेक्टिव से तैयार करेंगे. All of you are ready? Let's get started. So this important article on page 1 was malware found in 5 phones. No proof it's Pegasus, says panel. So there has been a malware which has been found in 5 phones, but right now there is no proof that these malwares basically are a form of Pegasus. Pegasus के बारे में since 2021 we have been studying. So I'll not go into the great detail of Pegasus because then वो repeated हो जाएगा. So you can watch the previous analysis lectures. Let's understand malware. From the prelims perspective, in 2017 one question came from this topic, 2018 again, 2019 maybe, 20 maybe, 21, 22. That means prelims में one question will be asked definitely when it comes to the topic of cyber security. Okay, so here this is important for GS paper 3 internal security के लिए बहुत important topic है. And what is malware? Malware basically is a malicious software. Where सॉफ्टवेयर से आ जाएगा एंड मॉल आपका malicious से आ जाएगा. Malicious means something which has very wrong intent. Okay, so it is used to intentionally harm and infect the device and the networks. And इसमें ना ये उस तरीके के सॉफ्टवेयर है जो आपके लैपटॉप्स, कंप्यूटर्स या मोबाइल फोन्स को इन्फेक्ट कर सकते हैं with a wrong intention of getting information. Now there are different kinds of softwares which have wrong intent. For example, we have the virus. हमारे पास वायरस होता है. What is a virus? Virus is a program that can infect other programs by first modifying them to include a possible evolved copy of itself so that it can replicate itself and enter into your systems, computer systems. Then we have worms. These are disseminated, these are spread through the computer networks. Okay, they are not like viruses, they are malicious programs that copy themselves from two different systems. They do not infiltrate files, they infiltrate the entire system. That is why they are different than the virus. Then we have Trojans. These are programs that generally impairs the security of the system. So whatever security you are using on your computer system, they will impair that security. So those are Trojans. आपने Trojan horse के बारे में भी पढ़ा होगा. Class 6 में हमने English story पढ़ी थी. Then we have hoax, an email that warns the user of a certain system that is harming the computer. You click on it and then the malware enters your system. That is why we have to make sure that we do not click or open any suspicious link. Then we have spyware. Spy to means जासूसी करना. तो spyware क्या करते हैं, आपकी जासूसी करते हैं बिना आपके कंसेंट के. ठीक है, आपकी एक्टिविटीज को नोटिस करते हैं छुप कर, तो वो spyware हो जाते हैं. So these are the different pointers that you need to remember for your prelims examination. Coming on to the next important article, suspense in Jharkhand as CM Soren may face disqualification. Now, the Election Commission of India has told the Jharkhand Governor Ramesh Bayes that Chief Minister Hemant Soren should be disqualified as an MLA for violating the electoral norms. And this is coming from the Election Commission of India. Election Commission of India ने झारखंड के गवर्नर रमेश बाइस सर से कहा है कि हेमंत सोरेन को जो चीफ मिनिस्टर है झारखंड के, उनको डिस्क्वालीफाई करना पड़ेगा क्योंकि इन्होंने इलेक्टोरल नॉर्म्स को वायोलेट किया है. We know that Jharkhand Mukti Morcha is the largest party in the assembly with 30 MLAs. It's a part of the UPA alliance. Okay, and it exuded confidence that Soren will remain chief minister till 2024, completing his term. It is also that basically said that party will move the Supreme Court if Soren is disqualified as an MLA. So this is the issue which is going on right now. ये issue अभी इस वक्त चल रहा है. Now we need to understand here the disqualification pointer. यहाँ पर हमें थोड़ा सा disqualification point पढ़ना पड़ेगा. देखो, we know that whatever MPs and MLAs are elected, they are accountable for their work because they have been elected by the citizens. citizens, they are the representatives. Okay, so they are also accountable for their work. अपने काम के लिए वो accountable भी हैं, उनको जवाब भी देना होता है. And the essence of disqualification under office of profit law is, if legislators holds an office of profit under the government, they might be susceptible to government influence. They may not discharge their constitution mandate fairly, and that is why they must be disqualified. So basically this is the essence of disqualification, or this is the basic reason why disqualification is done. अगर वो गवर्नमेंट के एक पोजीशन को होल्ड करके बैठे हैं, उसी के चलते वो दूसरी पोजीशन भी कोई होल्ड करते हैं जहां से उन्हें मॉनेटरी बेनिफिट मिल रहा है, तो उस केस में वो क्या हो जाएगा, डिस्क्वालिफिकेशन का रीजन बन जाएगा. भाई एक पोजीशन से उन्हें गवर्नमेंट प्रोटेक्शन और मनी मिल रहा है, सैलरी मिल रही है, तो वो दूसरी ऑफिस ऑफ प्रॉफिट क्यों होल्ड कर रहे हैं, दूसरा उनको जॉब लेने की जरूरत या पोजीशन होल्ड करने की जरूरत क्या है. एंड प्लस इफ दे आर होल्डिंग पोजीशन इन सम अदर डिपार्टमेंट इन लेट्स से प्राइवेट सेक्टर, एंड हियर दे आर आल्सो गवर्नमेंट ऑफिशियल्स और गवर्नमेंट रिप्रेजेंटेटिव्स, ओके, इन दैट केस दैट विल लीड टू द कॉन्फ्लिक्ट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट, because for discharging their duties as a government or citizen elected representative, it will result in a conflict of interest. भाई दोनों पोजीशन जो हैं वो कॉन्फ्लिक्ट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट में रिजल्ट होगा, क्योंकि अगर मान लो वो प्राइवेट सेक्टर में काम करते हैं, वहां पर वो अपनी गवर्नमेंट की पोजीशन यूज कर सकते हैं, वो भी आपका कॉन्फ्लिक्ट हो जाएगा, वो भी नहीं करना, और नहीं करते तो उनका वहां काम रुकता है, वहां परफॉर्मेंस बैड होती है. तो ये ध्यान में रखते हुए ऑफिस ऑफ प्रॉफिट के चलते डिस्क्वालिफिकेशन का रूल बनाया गया. Okay, point is clear. Now here we need to understand what is office of profit. One important thing which was asked in prelims also is that office of profit is not defined in the constitution. Okay, that you have to remember. The law does not clearly define what constitutes an office of profit. Law में ये नहीं लिखा हुआ कहीं भी कि office of profit की definition क्या है, कौन सी ऐसी position है जिससे office of profit कहलाई जाएगी वो position. Basically it just says that office of profit is a position where you are holding one position under the government and also another position in which you are monetarily rewarded or compensated. That will be disqualified. On that ground you will be disqualified. So basically it seeks to establish the principle of separation of power between legislature and executive. पॉइंट क्लियर. तो ऐसी कोई भी पोजीशन जिससे आपको किसी भी तरीके का फाइनेंशियल गेन हो रहा है, आप गवर्नमेंट पोजीशन में हो और दूसरी ऐसी कोई पोजीशन होल्ड कर रहे हो जहां आपको फाइनेंशियल गेन या प्रॉफिट हो रहा है, वो आपका बेसिकली office of profit कहलाएगा and you will be disqualified. That you have to remember. So what is the basic criteria to disqualify MP or MLA? This is again important for GS paper 2 and for prelims. तो इसको आज समझ लो ताकि आप भूलो नहीं, and please do revise daily. Okay. So there are Article 102 and 191. Article 102 basically deals with MPs. Article 191 deals with MLA. First important point that you need to remember. Please write it down in your register. Then basic disqualification criteria जो MP की होती है वो Article 102 में लिखी गई है. ठीक है. And disqualification criteria for MLA is written in Article 191. What are the grounds for disqualification? If you are holding an office of profit, or if you are of unsound mind, or if you are an undischarged insolvent. ओके मतलब आपके ऊपर इंसॉल्वेंसी का केस हो रखा है और वो भी अनडिस्चार्ज्ड है केस, यानी कि वो केस भी अभी पूरा सॉल्व नहीं हुआ है, आप उसमें बाइज्जत बरी नहीं हुए हो. ठीक है. और यू आर नॉट एन इंडियन सिटीजन और फॉर एक्वायरिंग सिटीजनशिप ऑफ अनदर कंट्री. दीज आर द रीजंस व्हाई द एमपी और एमएलए कैन बी डिस्क्वालिफाइड. Now let us solve some question based on this topic. Which of the following is or are grounds for disqualification of an MP or MLA under Constitution? When an MP or MLA holds office where the government has power to terminate the appointment, when he is being an undischarged insolvent. तो बताओ इसमें से कौन सा ग्राउंड माना जाएगा डिस्क्वालिफिकेशन का एक MP और MLA के लिए? वेरी इजी. सेकेंड स्टेटमेंट इज एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट. जब उसको अनडिस्चार्ज सॉल्वेंट करार किया जाएगा, यानी कि सॉल्वेंसी का केस है और अभी तक वो उससे बाइज्जत बरी नहीं हुए हैं. कमिंग ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन टेकन फ्रॉम प्री 2019 का क्वेश्चन पेपर. कंसिडर द फॉलोइंग स्टेटमेंट्स. पार्लियामेंट exempts several posts from disqualification on grounds of office of profit. We are talking about the Parliament Act 1959. Second, the above mentioned act was amended 5 times. Third, the term of office of profit is well defined in the Constitution. Now, if you have no idea about this act, still you can answer this question. Just now, in the beginning of the lecture, I told you that office of profit is not defined in the Constitution. That means third statement is wrong. That means you can eliminate B, C and D. So you get to the answer A. A is the correct answer. So here this is the meaning of elimination method. इसको बोलते हैं हम elimination method. अगर आप श्योर नहीं हो ऑप्शंस को लेकर तो आप एलिमिनेशन मेथड यूज कर सकते हो. ओके, कमिंग ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट important, very important article, labor codes empower workers says prime minister. So this is related to GS paper 3. इधर आपको ना याद रखना है that labor force basically is divided into two parts, organized and unorganized, and the difference between the two you have to remember for prelims as well as GS paper 3. Organized sector basically is known as the formal sector, in which, for example, you can say chartered accountants, teachers, doctors, etc. These are formal sectors. Organized sectors, these are licensed organization, CS, CA, डॉक्टर, ठीक है, ये सारे जो होते हैं वो लाइसेंस्ड ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस के अंडर काम करते हैं. ऑर्गेनाइज सेक्टर है, दे आर रजिस्टर्ड, दे पे GST एटसेट्रा. Unorganized sectors are the, basically unlicensed, organizations or self-employed organizations. For example, rural traders, laborers, handloom workers, etc. ये points आपको यहाँ पर याद रखने हैं. Coming on to the next important article, India-Bangladesh discuss river water sharing issues. India and Bangladesh have discussed different issues related to common river waters that they are sharing. Ganga, Teesta river, उनकी 38th Joint River Commission की meeting हुई थी जिसमें ये rivers को discuss किया गया, water sharing arrangement को discuss किया गया. Do you know that we have a Ganges water treaty with Bangladesh 1996 की? It's an agreement to share the surface waters at the Farakka barrage on river Ganga near the border between India and Bangladesh. This you have to remember. They can give you the name of the treaty. They will ask you which two countries share this treaty. So basically it's India and Bangladesh. Okay. कुशियारा रिवर के बारे में आपको याद रखना है. कुशियारा रिवर वाटर शेयरिंग अग्रीमेंट भी इन्होंने डिस्कस किया है. फेनी रिवर यू हैव टू स्टडी. कुशियारा रिवर्स एंड फेनी रिवर, इनकी लोकेशन आपको याद रखनी है. Now let's answer this question with reference to Teesta River. Consider the following statements. Teesta River is a tributary of Ganga River. It originates in Himalayas in Sikkim and flows to the south through Assam before entering Bangladesh. इसमें से कौन सा स्टेटमेंट करेक्ट नहीं है ये आपको बताना है और ये आपका होमवर्क क्वेश्चन है. डू लेट मी नो इन द कमेंट सेक्शन. कमिंग ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट इंपॉर्टेंट आर्टिकल. Here you can see this image on 29th August 2022 is the Hindu newspaper. तो ये इमेज में ना बात की जा रही है कि हाउ यू हैव टू स्टे सेफ व्हेन इट कम्स टू डिजिटल यूसेज ऑफ योर बैंक अकाउंट्स. तो यहाँ पर साइबर थ्रेट टू मोबाइल बैंकिंग के ऊपर आर्टिकल भी आया था न्यूज़पेपर में. बेसिकली द ग्लोबल साइबर सिक्योरिटी फर्म विच इज Kaspersky, it has warned the increase in cyber security on Android and iOS devices in the Asia Pacific region. And you know, India में there are 26% of the adults who have digital bank accounts. Almost everybody now has digital bank accounts. Paytm, Google Pay, सबके पास ही आजकल. So they have warned all of us about the mobile banking trojans. These are dangerous malware that can steal money from mobile user bank accounts by disguising the malicious application as a legitimate app. So whatever apps you download from Google Play Store, you have to be very clear about its authenticity. Google Play Store पे ना बहुत सारे apps होते हैं. हम कभी कभी क्या करते हैं, सर्च करने के चक्कर में कुछ भी ऐप डाउनलोड कर लेते हैं, इंस्टॉल कर लेते हैं, एक्सरसाइज ऐप, दिस एंड दैट. ठीक है, कुछ लोग तो लोन्स के लिए भी एप्स इंस्टॉल करते हैं. ठीक है, लोन्स वहां पर प्राइवेटली प्रोवाइड किए जाते हैं. सो यू हैव टू बी वेरी केयरफुल बिकॉज दीज मलिशियस malwares can disguise themselves as a very legitimate looking app. They can lure people, ठीक है, into installing them in their mobile phones, and that is how they steal money. We have studied about Trojan. अपने के स्टार्टिंग में हमने ट्रोजन के बारे में पढ़ा. This is phishing. This is again important. Phishing messages sent through SMS. You might have received some SMSs that this much will be deducted from your account. Click on this link, or your electricity will be cut off. Please click on this link to pay your amount. Please do not, click on those links. ऐसे अगर आपके पास मैसेजेस आते हैं ना कि आपके बैंक में इतने पैसे जमा किए गए हैं या निकाल लिए गए हैं या फिर इलेक्ट्रिसिटी कट हो जाएगी, आप इस लिंक पे क्लिक करो, तो उन लिंक्स पे प्लीज क्लिक मत कीजिएगा. इससे अच्छा अपना बैंक जाके पता लगाओ कि क्या सीन चल रहा है. बट डू नॉट क्लिक ऑन दोज SMSs. डू नॉट क्लिक ओपन दोज लिंक्स. There are certain examples of malwares. For example, we have Anubis, mobile banking Trojan virus, Binelian malware, roaming mantis. These are some examples of these malwares which are roaming around, which can pose as a cyber security threat to the mobile bankings. लेट अस आंसर सम क्वेश्चंस। ये 2018 के प्रीलिम्स का क्वेश्चन है। द टर्म्स WannaCry, Petya and external blue sometimes mentioned in news recently are related to exoplanet, cryptocurrency, cyber attack और mini satellites. WannaCry was in news in 2017. ये आपके Jan 2017 में काफी न्यूज में था. It is a kind of cyber attack. C is the correct answer over here. Let's go to the next question. 2017 का prelims का question है ये. We are solving PYQs also with the articles. Okay. In India, it is legally mandatory for which of the following to report on cyber security incidents? सर्विस प्रोवाइडर, डेटा सेंटर्स और बॉडी कॉर्पोरेट्स. तो इंडिया में लीगली किन ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस के लिए मैंडेटरी है कि कोई भी साइबर सिक्योरिटी इंसिडेंट होता है तो उन्हें रिपोर्ट करना पड़ेगा. सो करेक्ट आंसर विल बी फोर्थ. ऑप्शन 4 इज करेक्ट. डी इज द करेक्ट आंसर कि भाई साइबर सिक्योरिटी इंसिडेंट होता है तो नॉट जस्ट द बॉडी कॉर्पोरेट्स बट ऑल्सो द सर्विस प्रोवाइडर, डेटा सेंटर्स हैव टू रिपोर्ट इट टू द कंसर्न्ड अथॉरिटीज. नाउ व्हाई वी आर सॉल्विंग these questions, so that you understand what kind of questions can be framed from the articles that you are studying. Next important article, India refers to Taiwan Strait militarization. India has for the first time referred to what it is called the militarization of Taiwan Strait, marking a rare instance of New Delhi appearing to comment on China's actions towards Taiwan. So basically this statement has been issued by the Indian High Commission in Sri Lanka. Now here पहली बार है कि India has spoken something about the China and Taiwan issue. Now you have to remember for prelims that Taiwan Strait is also known as Formosa Strait. ये आपके prelims के लिए extremely important line है. Please note it down. They can give you options, 4 options कि Formosa Strait is also known as. So you have to remember it's a Taiwan Strait. It's a part of South China Sea. It connects East China Sea to the north. It's an island territory. ताइवान जो है एक island territory है और चाइना ताइवान का सबसे बड़ा एक्सपोर्ट पार्टनर है. ये भी आपको पॉइंट याद रखना है. Let us solve this question. The question has been taken from prelims 2022 का question paper. There are countries which are given and the important reason for why they are in news that is given. You have to match them correctly. Chad, setting up a permanent military base by China. Guinea, suspension of constitutional government by military. Lebanon, severe and prolonged economic depression. Tunisia, suspension of parliament by president. Correct answer यहाँ पर क्या है? Only one pair is correct, or only 2 pairs are correct, or only 3 pairs are correct, or all 4 pairs are correct. तो यहाँ पर C is the correct answer. Only 3 pairs are correct. Now why this kind of question we are solving? Because China and Taiwan basically are in conflict right now. So they can ask you question why Taiwan is in news recently. Okay, so you have to be prepared for such kind of questions. The next important article, the concerns around Aadhaar voter ID linkage. So there have been reports of cases where block level officers have asked individuals to link their Aadhaar with their voter IDs. ठीक है, or else their voter IDs would be cancelled. So the question is this mandatory to link Aadhaar with voter ID? Basically, every person whose name is listed in the roll, electoral roll, may intimate his Aadhaar number to the registration officer. That has been written in registration of electors rule 1960. तो रूल 26 भी ये बोलता है कि हर बंदा जिसका नाम इलेक्टोरल रोल में है उसे रजिस्ट्रेशन ऑफिस को अपना आधार नंबर बताना पड़ेगा. And Form 6B says it provides voter to either submit the Aadhaar number or any other listed document. So basically it is clear that it is not mandatory. Okay, mandatory तो नहीं है. You have to intimate your Aadhaar number to registration officer, and Form 6B is saying that you can either submit Aadhaar number or any other listed document. It is not mandatory to link Aadhaar with your voter ID. Election Laws Amendment Act 2021 also amended RPA 1950 and a new section was inserted, section 23 subsection 4. It states that electoral registration officer may, for the purpose of establishing the identity or authentication of any person already enrolled, to furnish their Aadhaar number. So again they are highlighting it is not mandatory. They may ask them to furnish their Aadhaar numbers. ये mandatory नहीं है because Aadhaar is not a proof of citizenship. It is only a proof of residence. तो ये आपके residence का proof होता है, citizenship का proof नहीं है. This you have to remember for prelims examination. Let's solve this question from 2018 का prelims examination. Consider the following statements. Aadhaar can be used as a proof of citizenship or domicile. Once issued, Aadhaar number cannot be deactivated or omitted by issuing authority. कौन सा statement इसमें correct है? Correct answer here would be, देखो आधार can be used as proof of citizenship. No, it is a proof of residence. Okay, not citizenship. तो 1 will be eliminated, C will be eliminated. Once issued Aadhaar number cannot be deactivated or omitted. That is also wrong. Omitted तो omit तो किया जा सकता है, तो यहाँ पर again B would be incorrect. Correct answer would be D. D आपका यहाँ पर करेक्ट आंसर होगा. So these were the important articles that we discussed so far. ये थे आपके सारे important articles. I hope you are now clear with the articles that you need to study and from what perspective you have to study them. That is also clear. I'm hoping the same. 20 minutes mein we have covered all the important articles today. Thank you and have a beautiful day ahead.